I notice some people tend to prefer utility over beauty, and other people tend to prefer beauty over utility. Some people even lead their lives by following one of these ideals. They sometimes shape their actions, and there is there's a continuous preference towards one or to the other. And there are arguments and conflicts at times between people who prefer one over the other. Or there are arguments of what is more important, utility or beauty. Beauty. My impression is that preferring one over the other feels like preferring using one's own left leg more preferably than preferring to use one's left leg than one's right leg. As if we could neglect one over the other in this life. And of course, one can attempt to detach oneself. To me, they seem like concepts that are just like stepping that allow us to step forward in life, one of them at a time. Because in utility lies the ability to intentionally move from one state to another and to move in a direction that we want to, which is important in this life that has so many directions to go into. Movement. And then there is beauty. And the way I use beauty in this context is the feeling of anything that it is the feeling. In general, the feeling. Whatever we feel. Absorbing things, and we tend to look towards beauty, meaning feels that we feel resonant with, that we feel attracted to, that we feel pleasure from. There is doing, and then there's enjoying. I like this state right now. Yes. and enjoying it while it is. And then at some point, it might happen that the state we are in, we do not like again, and we want to move. And so we invoke utility again, and we do and act and do what it takes to move again towards a place that we feel, towards a state that we feel safe in, to again feel. And enjoy. And what I noticed in myself, I feel in my life I have tended to prefer utility over beauty. Where I felt almost always drawn towards improvement. What is still not used? What is a potential waste if I do not use it right now? How can I make the most out of the state of which is now? How can I best improve it to another state? Which has been quite a driver in my life. It has moved me. It has helped me move much in life. And yet, at times, there is nothing to be improved on. It certainly doesn't seem like there is nothing to do. There is not much to do right now. Like things have been solved. And then a part of me has turned anxious and thought, what do I do? What do I do? What is there to do? Is there nothing to do? Don't I have some bill to pay, some message to return, some laundry to finish, something to clean? Nothing? And I recently found that in these moments, I can turn attention towards myself and towards what I am feeling. Because I feel safe. Because the state is good. I like the state. In moments of anxiety, something is preventing me from enjoying the state, which is the constant draw towards utility. I don't know which direction I'm using. Utility. Towards utility. Let's go to utility. And accepting at some point that there is no utility to be had it felt good to realize that. It felt wholesome to realize that. But I don't need to improve upon anything right now. I don't need to do anything. I can be. And then the usual voices, what are you going to do? What do you mean? What is, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to enjoy. I gave it a chance to feel what was there. And yes, there is beauty to be had. When we choose to. It was a matter of feeling safe. It seems like breath to me. Utility being a way of expression in the world of saying, okay, my outer state is this, but I wanted to go there. So, okay, I express enough actions, words, movement, something that will move my state to this direction. It is an expression of me. I want this. I desire this, and I put it out in the world. And then if I'm done with utility, I can turn inwards and do nothing. It seems to me like the out breath. I don't need to do anything. I'm just here. And then the want for utility comes again, and it feels like in-breath. It feels like there's energy brewing. It brews from inside and wants to come out. I mean, and it's in the opposite direction of the breath, but it feels like accumulating energy, accumulating the goodness of the state, bringing in, moving energy to making a change I like in the world. And then when it feels like it, enough utility, okay, I've in-breath in enough, and at some point, okay, relaxation, nothing to do, and I'm just here and can enjoy the beauty of the moment. My impression is that we live through cycles and cycles and cycles of utility and beauty in parallel, many of them, with different periods. Some I feel take minutes, some may take milliseconds, some take months, years even. With our parallel stories of development of our body, development of our emotions, development of our friendships, development of our education, development of our employment, development of our wealth, development of our social status, development of our residency, development of our residence, development of our knowledge, everything. It's just happening all at the same time. And all these cycles, they may be in different states, and they can be all, they can be taking days or months or sometimes years. There can be years of doing, because there is a drive towards moving towards a certain state. And then at some point, there may be a time to just do nothing. It seems to me that the concept called midlife crisis can be associated to that transition, to one perhaps not recognizing a natural call to to changing the direction of the energy. Because of half of one's life, I see that one is active. Like, of course, one can be active all the time. But it seems that in the younger part of life, one is building. One builds one's own skills, one's body skills, one's emotional skills, one's friendships, one's relationships, one's knowledge, one's learning, one's reputation, it builds. And then when enough is built, being that whatever it means for any person, for any being, then their natural call appears to do nothing. And I feel some people, perhaps with the midlife crisis, are feeling like, but what do I do? 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 Wanting to continue building, wanting to continue acting and doing and absorbing. And at some point, they're like, you don't need to do anything. I think you can't. Of course one can. But if one does have a drive to exhale, it's valuable to explore it, to give it a chance. And in such a different cycle, such a different part of the cycle, one can learn new things, find the new features of the world, directions, paths, details one had not noticed. Utility and beauty. In-breath and out-breath. Cycles. Milliseconds, seconds, minutes, days, hours, years. This lifetime is likely our in-breath of something. And maybe there exists some fear about that letting go, about that transition into the opposite part of our cycle.